Welcome to Dave D's Random Watch. Now, the next movie I ended up picking out was Pet Sematary from 2019. Now, I don't. I know when I wrote some of these out, I actually did write out Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters 2, Ghostbusters Remake. But for whatever reason, I kept Pet Cemetery and the Pet Cemetery remake separate. But that's fine. I could probably do that with the Ghostbusters as well because those films could be separate too. And in a way, it's not a bad idea sometimes to watch the remake first and then go back to the original, because sometimes people do make prejudgments based on the fact that they may have seen a movie. They've seen the original movie, they love the original movie, and therefore they do not want to watch the remake because they hold the original near and dear to their heart. It's just Pet Cemetery. Some people may have that opinion of those films. That film, I do not. I remember watching the original a lot as a kid, and I can't tell you what I remember. I remember key scenes. That's it. And eventually, I will draw the original film as well. It is in my collection, so sometime in point I will end up watching it. Um, the movie is based on a Stephen King novel, and therefore that's another reason why I don't think a remake deserves all that kind of backlash. Because if you have adapted it once before from a novel and now you're adapting another version of it, yeah, there's things that could be different. Or there's things they could follow the book more closely. But this one, you have Lewis, which was played by Jason Clark. I remember him from Planet of the Apes, War or no, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and he was one of the John Connors from one of those Terminator films. He and his wife are moving to a small Maine town. Go figure, Maine, Stephen King, and they live in a house by a highway where a semi truck just drives by really fast all the time. And of course, there's some strange things going on in the woods in this Stephen King based story. And they have their neighbor Judd, who's played by John Lithgow in this version. It's a very good casting choice, I might say. John Lithgow in this does a very, very good job. And he tells them about, the stuff in the pet cemetery, and of course circumstances lead to uh, the cat dying. I guess it probably died by getting hit by a truck, uh, and of course the whole thing begins. They bury the cat, and the cat's back to life, but not the same. And of course, the family begin to realize that, and then tragedy hits the family, where now we are utilizing the pet cemetery to bring back somebody from the family. They're not going to be the same. In fact, they're very possessed. You would say it's very they're a zombie, but they're not a zombie. They're aware, but they're not aware. The movies came out in 2019. That's kind of when Stephen King films had a renaissance thing going on. You had It come out and was it 2017? I can't remember if The Dark Tower came out in between there, but really It 2, Chapter 2 were the high points of this, where we had the redos of these Stephen King properties. And then you also had Doctor Sleep come out in 2019 as well, but people mislooked that film, unfortunately. That one was a really good movie. As for this Pet Cemetery, I think it's good. It's chilling. It's creepy. It's got its moments. Um, it's a very dark film, and the subject matter might be too much for some people to handle. And again, that's why I picked it from my pick, my pick pile versus the family pick pile, because I know what they can or can't watch, and this would be one that I wouldn't let a lot of them watch. So this movie, I would recommend it. I'd give it 3 stars out of 4. I was very pleased with this adaptation, even though I never read the book, but I'm very pleased with how this movie presented itself as a movie. And it's a shame that these Stephen King movies, other than it, didn't do so good in the box office, because I would like to see some of these things get some proper treatment, especially the ones that were made into just a miniseries where they can't really explore the full aspects of what Stephen King's imagination um, brings to brings out. Can't do that on some of these made for TV movies. So Pet Sematary, 3 stars out of 4. It's a good movie. The only thing I think I didn't really like about it was, and this is something in the original movie that I didn't remember was in the original movie, but it was in the original movie, and it was the sister Zelda, the wife's sister Zelda. I didn't understand that, and I think that was just there for extra scares, and it didn't need to be, because the rest of the movie had enough scares on its own. This has been Dave's D's Random Watch. See you next time.